Hello everyone, this is Bobbin Threadbare, and welcome back to Sleeping Dogs. So we're going to be seeing Uncle Po today, so I decided to pick an outfit that might speak to him. Something from his day. Old school.
Hiya. Mommy Pop.
Who's he talking to?
It's the die low, man. It's the chairman.
Mommy Bagala. Mama Shando. Wait. You're coming with me. Looks like you're gonna meet Uncle Po. The rest of you, wait here. Don't do anything until you hear from me.
What's going on?
You are staying here like I told you. And you are shutting the fuck up. Got it?
Yeah, boss. Of course.
Good. Let's go.
I'm worried.
You pissed off the wrong people, Wayne.
Look, at least we kept Siwa alive.
Yeah, that may be just what saves us. I'm gonna bump Uncle Po's cut. Hoping that doesn't. It's not fair, you know? Look what I built. The night market. All of North Point, really. The dog guys gets greedy. What was I supposed to do, huh?
Just what you did. Look, you can't back down from that asshole.
You and him got history, huh? Well, me too. Listen, Wayne. Anything happens to me, you look after our people, okay? We're a family. Family has to stick together. Duke, Conroy, they're good guys. But they're not gonna be leaders. I know Conroy gives you shit, but you've proven yourself now. I don't see it. Neither of you doesn't want to admit it. Do me a favor. Look after Peggy and my mom, too. This can be rough business. The one thing we got going for us is each other. Brothers, you know. I know people use that word, but it means something to me. And it should to you, too. Not just that we're son on ye. True brothers. Blood. We look after each other. And we look after the people we love.
Okay, Winston. Siwa told me he really works for Big Smiley, not Dog Eyes. I keep hearing his name.
Big Smiley is backing Dog Eyes, sure. That's where he gets the balls to come after me. Well, he has a lot of power. Along with drugs, he's into prostitution, porn. He even sells women across the border into the rest of Asia. The whole thing is run like an industry. Very sleazy, but big money.
Winston, we can't just walk in there, not if it's as bad as you say.
We have a lot of choice. It's the way it's done, Wade. Besides, you can't hide from Uncle Po. If he wants you dead, you're dead. And I'd rather see it come, you know? We should be okay. But if I get my ass shot, do not do anything stupid, you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, now he's done.
Who gives a shit?
Fuck off, Johnny. Hey, Winston. What's wrong? You look a little pale, man. That dog guys tells me you've been throwing your weight around. What happened? You guys used to be tight as shit.
Is he here?
Nah, he left a while ago. Without a scratch. Doesn't bode so well for the other parties involved. Go right in. Have fun.
Uncle Po.
Ah, Winston. Come in. Sit down. Have some tea. And you, young man, must be Wei. Winston speaks very highly of you.
Winston has been a good friend to me. I've tried to do right by him.
I like the way you think. That's the attitude that makes us strong. Loyalty, discretion. Used to be more common. Winston says you're the one who made sure Siwa was not arrested.
No, it was Winston's idea. He had to assert himself. Assert his position. But he didn't want to inconvenience you in the process.
Did he now? In any case, you did well. I want to show you my gratitude.
Uncle Po, there's really no need.
Don't argue with me. Do you know Roland Ho? He has a business collecting debts. The other day he told me that he could use some help. It's quite lucrative, you know. Tell him I sent you. Winston won't mind in the slightest. Will you?
Thank you, Uncle.
Winston, relax. I know you were provoked.
God damn it. I bet $1,000 I was going to be carrying you out in a fucking body bag. Uncle Po must like you.
Yeah, I don't think he has an opinion on me either way.
All right. I tell you what, you get tired of spinning your wheels in the night market, give me a call. There's more to this business than strong-arming street vendors.
Ricky. Your name's Ricky, right? I appreciate the offer. You know, let me think about it and I'll get back to you.
Take the car across the street. Give you a chance to see what it's like to be in the big time.
Alright. But yeah, the voice actor for Uncle Po, that's one name, that's one voice I can recognize. And when he says, "Don't argue with me, boy," just that one little touch. Oh, more talking.
Yeah, you alright?
Things are gonna be okay. There's gonna be work to do. A lot of work. Stay ready.
I always am.
Look, in the meantime, I'm getting swamped with this wedding crap. I'm gonna need your help on a couple of things.
Yeah?
Yeah. I tell you, it's easier to be a red pole than a groom. Let's stop by the restaurant when you're done there, okay?
Got it.
And here we are at our destination. Still the same mission. But yeah, it's you only spent a couple minutes with Uncle Po and you already understand who he is.
Hey, Roland Ho?
Who's asking?
My name's Chen.
Ah, Wei. You got friends in high places, my boy. I hear you and Winston have been making trouble with Dog Eyes.
Dog Eyes has been asking for trouble.
I remember when I was like you. Always looking for a fight. Ready to kill anyone who so much as looked at me sideways. Here's a tip for you, kid. Don't take on a boss in your own triad unless you know for a fact someone else is gonna back you up. Hierarchy is the only thing anyone cares about. Always have, always will.
Thanks for the advice, old-timer. So, when can we get to work?
Okay, big man. 我睇你點做. Patsy Wing. Bad luck at Mahjong. You'll need this. Collect what she owes.
One way or another, apparently. Yeah, we've already upgraded from pistols to assault rifles. Really going places. Oh yeah, and I didn't have time to... Oh, God damn it.
Wait.
Hey, Jackie.
Just checking in, man. I heard things were kind of intense. Wanted to make sure you're still with us, you know?
Uncle Po seems to have a handle on who's causing the trouble.
That's a relief.
Look, I gotta go, Jackie. Gotta see a lady about some money.
Yeah, as I was saying, didn't have opportunity to... Oh, come on, I'm already at my destination.
You're gonna pay up, you understand? Shit, that's a lot of muscle.
Well, I got a lot of bullets. Alright, gonna have to switch to mouse and keyboard again so I can get the better aiming. I do like that it slows down time, so you've got the opportunity to actually, you know, hit something. Also, important note about these drive-in gun missions. Keep on firing until they explode. You get more points that way. Like, even when they're in the air, you can still get more points for damaging and possibly even exploding the car. Like, they explode anyway, but you don't always get points for that. Oh, there's someone behind me. Oh, damn it. She turned right. Gonna have to make a shortcut here. But yeah, as I've been trying to say, I find it kind of funny that he talks about entering the big time and having me drive an executive when the executive was the first car I ever bought in this playthrough. Oh geez. Oh there, see? It just told me. Vehicle destroyed. That's extra points. Doesn't always say that. You don't always get those points. Alright, nobody else has shown up, and I can actually get close to her now, so I guess we're at the point where... Yep. Time for the action hijack. So... Come on. Okay, here we go.
Who are you? What is this? I haven't done anything!
That's the problem. You old guy like rolling home money, you gotta pay.
I'm sorry!
I don't care if you're sorry. I care if you have the money.
I know, I'm sorry!
Hey, stop saying that.
Sorry!
Look,
The car! Who has drugs in the back? That should cover my debt. Don't hurt me! I'm sorry!
Huh.
damn. I wasn't gonna do anything that bad.
Yeah, maybe stalk her a little, but... What the hell? You call from... Okay, so these two calls have sort of interfered with each other, so I can't get either one. I think Jackie was complaining about a deal gone bad, and Roland was asking about the money, and I was going to tell him I have the drugs instead, and he said bring him over. Anyway, the first one was setting up for a future mission, second one was finishing a thought for this one. But yeah, did you see that? More talking. It's just so much of it in just this one mission.
Raymond.
Chen, finally. Where the hell have you been?
Look,
Do you have any idea what's going on? What happened at the warehouse?
Raymond, do you ever actually read my reports?
Your reports? All I have to do is read the goddamn newspapers. They're calling it a massacre. If it ever came out that the police were involved, we're dead.
It won't.
Well, you can't know that. You at least could have turned Siwa over to us. It would have helped our case.
That would have put the entire operation at risk. What does Penju say?
You know, he's not your handle, Wei. I am.
Well, then fucking handle it, Raymond. Well, how'd you think this was gonna go down? Huh? Whatever it takes. You remember that? You wanted results, and you can't get them sitting behind a desk, nose in a rulebook, with a stick up your ass. Look, Raymond, I am doing what needs to be done.
No, you've crossed the line, Wei. I'm gonna terminate this operation.
You can't do that. Penju won't allow it.
Pendrew may like to take chances, I don't. And you are dangerous.
Fine. But before you go back to your office to try and pull the plug, go ahead and tell Penju that I just met the chairman of the Sun On Yi.
The chairman? Wait, you're just a foot soldier.
Well, this foot soldier has just been marked for promotion because I made sure Suwa got out safely. It'll be in my report, and maybe this time you'll actually read it.
But yeah, look at that. We've got ourselves a decent apartment now. With modern interior design and everything. Got a little computer here. Nice big bed. DLC is now available. I'll get to that, but not right now. Not in this video. Yeah, we've got a giant bathtub, a bathroom here. By the way, using the sink like this washes blood off. It just sort of fades away. Yeah, I know it's a Japanese thing to not have the bathtub and the toilet in the same room. I mean, usually they're adjacent because that's just easier for the plumbing. Interesting pictures on the wall here. And once again, we can refill our attack bonus out of the refrigerator here. Nice. Wei is just as terrible about cleaning up after himself as usual. Oh, this is how you access the surveillance system in this apartment. Nothing new is happening. Nothing new will ever happen. And we also got a new outfit. Let's go on. Yep, the High Roller. No bonuses, and it looks pretty much like some of the clothes you can normally buy. But it's coordinated. 3 shades of gray. It's kind of nice. And I'm going to wear it for this next set of missions. Well, not main missions, I should explain. We've got some main missions and side missions here. Well, cop missions, I should say. Cop jobs, and the regular kind of main story ones. And of course, we've got favors to do. And this is a nice classy outfit to wear while doing it. Oh, and yeah, roll-in jobs. I don't think I got anything new. Well, actually, I probably got a report on Uncle Po. I'll remember that and take a look at it later. Yeah, first favor is just down the block here. Let's go find out what it's all about.
I'm leaving in a few seconds. All I need is a good driver.
What is it this time?
Let's go.
Oh, Calvin. Well, this car looks fast.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, Shabnam was cheating at the cards last night. Thought I'd teach him a lesson.
Some fucking lesson.
Bet he doesn't cheat again. Him.
No shit.
Think you can lose him?
You gonna pull this shit, you gotta learn to drive.
Get behind us.
Level 3 cop attention here. So that means, yeah, they bring out the vans for this one. Cars will randomly spawn, so it's much harder to lose them. Luckily, I got in a fast car, so it is possible, at least. See, I've already lost most of them. But, to get a little further away from them, I'm going to drive up this, narrow lane road here. Oh, sure enough, it worked. Or, well, it did before another car spawned. Like I said, that... Oh, Jesus, what blew up? Oh, yeah, the, police precinct, we just sort of passed it. So, that, yeah, that's also a bit of a problem. Maybe I shouldn't have taken that road after all.
I think you lost her. Hey, you can just let me off anyway.
Okay, there you go. All that for 2,000 Hong Kong dollars. Alright, let's see what else we've got.
What's the problem?
I bought a whole shipment of birds from the mainland, but they keep losing. I think they must have been feeding them sawdust or something.
Remind me not to bet on them.
Yes, exactly. I'm just about bankrupt. My only hope is to get the insurance money on the shipment and my truck.
Your truck?
If someone were to steal it and run into the harbor, I'd be saved.
Damn. Chicken kanji.
Why don't you have a pork bun
Serve
in
it
your
up.
hand?
Good, Taya.
I have no idea what chicken kanji is. But yeah, we've already done this kind of mission. But it's different enough, interesting enough that I'm gonna show you the whole thing, even though we know how this works. It also helps that it's in a different part of town, so you get to see more of Hong Kong this way. Let's see if I can jump before diving into the water this time. Oh, good. Perfect. I can't even see the truck. Poor drowned chickens. Well, time to do a whole bunch of cop jobs that are too repetitive for me to show. And now it's time to do the race. Now this is the second required race. Apparently it's just sort of to build Wei Shen's reputation, just in case you haven't been doing the optional races. Yeah, that one sounds the fastest for this class, so... Yeah, another race. Now, you understand how races work, of course. Whoa. That poor guy. And by the way, you can ram other cars in races. It's just, they're practically invulnerable. So, don't do it unless doing so will get you an immediate advantage. Because it's not going to blow up their car. And even ramming forward usually doesn't get you the sort of speed you need to really pull ahead. Kind of getting tired of eating this guy's dirt. Come on, son of a bitch. But yeah, like I was saying, I think the races are interesting enough, just in general, that they're worth showing at least more than one of them. And since this one is part of the part of this case, and this case is required, might as well show this race. And hey, I win. $20,000. And nothing really popped up, but yeah, this was just to improve my reputation.
Roland, got any work for me?
Yeah, sure. Samson Gao, your typical deadbeat. Moron is hiding out on an overpass in North Point. Thinks nobody knows he's there. He's wrong.
So, like with the Tran missions, there are a specific number of Roland missions.
Samson Gal, you owe Roland. Time to pay up.
How did you find me? I have the perfect hiding place.
Hanging out on an overpass is not a perfect hiding place. But yes, unlike transmissions. I just got that. Transmissions. God damn it. Unlike transmissions, Roland Ho's missions are always unique. Like, they aren't repetitive the way that collecting cars is. There's always a story to them, and there's only 5 of them. So I figure, you know, I might as well do all 5 of them right here in this mission. That's why it's a bit longer than usual. I wanted to make sure I did all of them before moving on with the plot. Alright, looks like we're almost at the end of this race.
It's in your best interest if you pay, understand?
Oh, okay. You don't have to get violent.
Alright, 20,000 Hong Kong dollars. And I'm standing on the wrong overpass. Parked on underneath the other one.
Roland, how's it going? You got any work?
Norbert Yang, another moron. Runs a massage parlor. He has lots of clients, but never seems to have my money. Go teach him a lesson.
Alright. I'm not gonna show you me walking all the way over, so... Oh hey, it's an actual massage parlor. It's not one of those special massages in North Point. It gives you the same bonus too, by the way.
Norbert, you're behind on your payments to Roland. You need to make good today.
Fuck you and fuck Roland. I've got friends in the police department. You don't dare fuck with me. I bring the whole world of hurt down on you.
You sure about that?
You can't touch me, and you know it. So like I said, fuck you.
Is that really how you expect this to go down? But yeah, it's a normal massage parlor, and it gives you the same bonus as the special massages. Right now...
Hey, you guys, wanna make a quick buck?
What we got to do?
Just be yourself. $10 each.
I can be myself.
Hey, follow me.
Ew. We should have asked for more. $10 is a lot, man. Don't get greedy.
It's not even a little bit a lot.
I didn't sign for no hike.
Hey, Norbert, brought you some customers.
Excuse me. Get out! Get the hell out!
Throwing firecrackers, pissing into the plant, and vomiting over one of the massage chairs.
You got police protection from this?
Okay, I'll pay.
Actually, I think they would clear out the vagrants. But hey, we could always have found more. And I have no idea why $30 became $18.
Roland, how's the loan sharking business?
Good. Got another deadbeat for you. Stupid moron claims he can't pay, but he just bought a new car. Got to teach him some priorities.
All right.
Guy with a new car, huh? Man, he's in another part of Hong Kong again. Yeah, this time I just took a taxi over. And hey, it's just within shouting distance.
Easy, tasty. I knew a girl like that once, but all I'm selling is waffle eggs.
Guy's got a story to tell. Hey there, buddy.
I work for Roland Ho. You behind on your payments?
I'm really sorry. I would have paid, but I'm dead broke. Honest.
What about this car? You think we're stupid?
It's my mother's car. Yeah, my mum. She just lent it to me. I swear.
Mom loves fast cars, doesn't she? Wrong button.
In you go.
What? No, wait.
Alright, I'm gonna get onto the highway here. I just needed to check my route. Gotta maintain my speed, you see. Oh, it's got a turbo too, I can hear it going. Alright, I guess I'm just going to say screw it to the highway. I'm almost done anyway.
I'll pay. Just please let me out.
Alright. Oh, this looks like a good parking spot.
Wait, I give up. Please. No, wait, I'll pay.
All right, we got a deal.
Shit, oh fuck.
Alright. I'm not gonna take your car. Because, once again...
Roland, how's the moron parade?
I got a doozy for you. Tommy Wu. Guy's a degenerate gambler. Always losing. Owes me twist. He's a cop, too. So you got to find an angle.
He married?
Uh-huh. His wife, Wawa, works at the hospital.
Has to do it.
Jeez, Wei. Are you thinking what I'm thinking you're thinking? Well, luckily there's a parking lot right next to the hospital. Alright. Gonna need a car for this.
Hey, what can I do for you?
So, see if I can pick something as classy as Wei's current outfit. Yeah, this looks appropriate.
Club radio.
Nice and fast, too.
He was part of the family, cherished and adored. Then tragedy struck.
I love this track, by the way.
Miss, come with me.
Wait, how do we know this is Hua Hua?
Who are you?
I guess we just do. Yeah, I'm gonna stay quiet for the music here. Just so sleazy. It's like the perfect kind of sleaze for what we're doing here.
Let's just take a picture.
What is this? What are you doing? You're going to pay for this. My husband is a cop. He's going to hunt you down. You never get out of jail.
You got anything else to say? No?
Make sure she doesn't get away. Once I talk to him, I want you to send him a text of the photo.
What's going on?
Setting a meeting.
You never see the light of day again.
Is that so? My sleazy music would say otherwise. If I had to complain, it's that the music always resets to the beginning.
You Tommy?
Who are you?
Doesn't matter. You owe Roland home money, and we have your wife.
What? You lying bastard! I just got a text from her.
Telling you to come here, right? That was me. Check your phone again.
That's the dumbest thing I ever
That's
heard.
the problem. You owe a guy like Roland home money, you gotta pay.
What? Don't hurt her. Please. I will pay.
God damn, Wei.
Roland, got a little time to kill. Got any morons?
Even better, I got a moron sequel. Samson Gao 2. Guy went even further into debt. Now he's ducking me once again.
He's still on that overpass?
No, he's in Central. Come get me first, though. I want to talk to this moron in person.
Huh.
Hey, what's up? How's business?
Good. You know, people always want to borrow. If they ever learn to live within their means, I'd be screwed.
Yeah?
But you might as well worry that they'll stop drinking, cheating on their wives, gambling. It's just not in them. You can never go wrong betting on human stupidity. Never go wrong.
Yes, so.
Don't you see I'm getting high? Come on. Check it out. I got the ball in my hand. I put one.
Are there any trams that run on these rails? Or do they just not pave over them? Like, if the trams just aren't in the game because they couldn't code them, right? I suppose that'd be something. Hey there, buddy. I got ya. Hang up. I hit the grapple button just now. I hit grapple. Totally could have caught that guy. And maybe in some other mission, that would have actually worked. Unfortunately, this one has a scripted ending that has to happen at a specific point. So, the chase is not going to be over until we get to that. In case you're wondering where Roland Ho is, he's gone around a different way. Hoping to cut him off, I guess. Oh, come on. I think I can hear Roland running behind me, actually. So maybe he hasn't gone a different way, but he will show up from a different angle once we get up onto this overpass here. Alright, chase is over.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. Take a breath. Roland wants his money, and you have to pay. You understand me? But it doesn't have to go beyond that. Listen, I just want to reach an understanding. Hey, get back here! Wait, no! Great, just...
Damn, never thought he'd do that. Fucker owes me $20,000. Go to his house, talk to the widow, find out if he has life insurance or anything like that.
No. You know what, Roland? I'm out. When innocent guys start dying, that's it for me.
What innocent? He owed me $20,000. That's plenty of guilt right there.
I'm out. Do your own collecting.
I guess even Wei has limits. But hey, that's another 20 grand. And in fact, that is just enough for me to do something with the money. It's right over here, so I think we'll just drive on over.
Don't you see I'm getting high? Come on, shoot your shot, shoot your shot, shoot your shot. Let me see what you got. Shoot your shot, shoot your shot, shoot your shot. Don't you see I'm getting high? Come on, check it out. I got the ball in my hand.
You may have noticed, by the way, but the roads that actually go up to Victoria Peak are really twisty and windy. Have a whole bunch of shortcuts and stuff. They basically built it entirely for racing. Oh dear. Well, this is creepy in all sorts of ways. That's why I left the drive over in, so you could see that. But as for the destination, it's right over here is this one car shop. See, there's something special about this car shop. It's not just because it's the first one we ever visited. It's because it's the last one I'll ever visit.
Always good to hook up a fellow driver. Call me if you need anything else.
That was the last car I needed to buy in the game to have them all. So, today I'll be taking a look at this Let's Play's second Hollywood production, although I'm not sure if Kung Pao Enter the Fist should count as such, since the majority of the footage came from Hong Kong. It's really more of a studio-funded pet project than an actual studio production. Anyway, today's movie is not the best in the main character's filmography, but it does mark a milestone in his career. The movie is Romeo Must Die, released in the year 2000 and starring the actor Jet Li. The story about the story. Breaking into another country's movie scene is hard. There are language differences, culture differences, and you're always a little fish moving into a big pond, even if you aren't moving to Hollywood. It's because no matter how much talent you have or how famous you are back home, you're starting somewhere new in a place where no one has heard of you. Now obviously that's just not acceptable to a movie star. Why would you put up with being treated like a nobody when you could have people fawning all over you on set and asking for autographs on the street? It's for reasons like this that someone can be a household name in one nation but be utterly unknown in the next. Bollywood actors can be well known to over 1 billion Indians, but an American would have trouble pronouncing their names. And that's not an aspect of America's superiority complex. It's nothing more complicated than a lack of exposure. And there are actors who go looking for work in other nations, but it's less to cement their reputation worldwide and more to find some place, any place, where they can get that breakout hit. Clint Eastwood was completely unknown despite being an American actor until he went to Italy and got cast as the lead in a trilogy of westerns. But then there are the exceptions, the nations that make a habit of exporting their films to international markets. Now there are some issues with doing this, foremost the language problem. Subtitles let you both see and hear the movie as its creators intended, but reading them can distract you from the action. Dubbing lets you concentrate on what's going on, but the translators have to take more liberties with the script to make the lines fit the mouth movements, and quite often they don't match up anyhow. It also leads to situations where the dubbing voice actor can become as famous as the person on the screen. In Germany, it's common practice for one VA to always dub the same Hollywood actor so that his or her voice sounds consistent between each film, and you can become familiar with the voice as well as the face. Hong Kong was in an interesting situation when it decided to invest in cultural exports like movies. Now, discounting the British occupiers, since they would watch American and British films, Hong Kong studios had an audience with 2 languages, Cantonese and Mandarin. The 2 languages were the same in writing thanks to the way the Chinese script works, or at least they were before the communist government simplified the script without really simplifying it, but when you speak them out loud, they're at least as far apart as Portuguese is from Spanish. So how do you sell a movie when your native audience is bilingual? The answer to that was as clever as it was cheap. Don't record any live sound. Have Foley artists create all the sound effects, and have the actors dub in all of their lines in ADR. By doing it like this, editors could create separate tracks for dialogue, music, and sound effects, and so you could easily swap in the Mandarin dub for the Cantonese dub, or vice versa. Today you can do that by hitting a button on your video player, but back when that wasn't possible, they would have different cinemas that played the same movies, but catered to one or the other language. Because these movies had no native dialogue, it made them easy to translate into English and then sell in the United States. They got the initial interest thanks to Bruce Lee's dual citizenship and his efforts to make it big in both industries, but that's another story, and I still haven't said anything about Jet Li. So let me just say that I'll fill in those blanks later as we move forward. Jet Li is a native to mainland China, not Hong Kong. and his career started off with regular martial arts rather than Chinese opera. But because martial arts skills and action movie roles go hand in hand in China, it didn't take long for talent scouts to notice this young kid winning all the competitions and to bring him to Hong Kong. This was a few years after Mao Zedong died, and China became more reasonable about outside contact, by the way. Li's debut film was 1982's The Shaolin Temple, the first Hong Kong movie since the communist takeover to be filmed in mainland China. And it depicts Shaolin Kung Fu because that happens to be what Jet Li trained in. A few more sequels kept him working through the 80s, but then he hit the big time with Once Upon a Time in China, a 1991 movie directed by Tsui Hark that turned out to be a smash hit. Throughout the 90s, Jet Li's star kept rising, until in 1998 he got an opportunity to be an action movie bad guy in Lethal Weapon 4. Hong Kong movies brought over in the early 90s had become a kung fu fad by the late 90s, which is why the Lethal Weapon producers had the idea to bring in an actual Chinese action star. Apparently his performance impressed someone else in Hollywood, because despite the fact that Li barely spoke any English at the time, he got the title role in Romeo Must Die, which was filmed the next year and released in early 2000. The movie is a very loose adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, hence the title, but if I want to explain what that means, I should probably recap the story. The movie starts with an Asian man named Po enjoying himself at a club in a black neighborhood. One of the bouncers starts hassling him and telling him to get out, but before the fight can escalate, a man named Kai shows up with a bunch of guys to retrieve Po. Po still winds up clocking the bouncer with his cane, so Kai defends the guy by kicking the asses of a bunch of employees and patrons. The action is very stylized and keeps cutting back and forth. I'm guessing because the cinematographer is a member of the school that thinks that constant quick cuts add to an action scene, when in actuality, it clashes. Anyway, the fighting ends when everybody draws their guns. A guy on the balcony, played by rapper DMX, shoots his assault rifle to get everyone's attention. He and his equally armed guards tell the Asian gangsters to leave before he starts firing. So Kai puts his pistols away and takes Po with him. Once outside, the movie takes advantage of Po's stubbornness to explain the premise. Kai's Triad gang is at war with one of the local black gangs, and Po is both the son of the Triad boss and a spoiled idiot. But as it turns out, this story isn't about him, because the next morning a paperboy finds him strung up from a telephone pole. After the Triad boss gets the bad news, we cut to the head of the black gang, Isaac O'Day, talking about how he's trying to go legitimate with his chief lieutenant, Mac. Isaac gets a phone call that fills him in on what happened, and he's mad. Killing the Triad boy just escalated a war that he was trying to wind down, so he tells Mac to find the man who killed Po and bring him in. And now we're in a Hong Kong prison. Someone whispers something we don't get to hear into Jet Li's ear. Boy, does he look upset. Oh, and his character's name is Han Sing, by the way, and that's in the American order of names. He attacks the guards, then a bunch more in full riot gear jump out of the doors and beat his ass. They then drag him to... The producers knew that Hong Kong was a British colony until 1997, right? Because in a civilized prison, they just beat you black and blue in a quiet cell, not this whole hanging torture deal. But of course, this was all just to set up a crazy action scene, complete with a random X-ray bone break out of nowhere. Anyhow, Han Sing escapes. Isaac and the Triad boss, Chu Sing, meet at an airport terminal so that they can use the free metal detectors. Chu seems reasonable when Isaac expresses his condolences, but Isaac is not about to take any chances with his own son and daughter. And as soon as he mentions them, the movie cuts to Trish O'Day, played by R&B singer Alia. She's a pretty good actress. There's a good chance she would have gone on to other film roles, but she died in a plane crash in 2001. Anyway, A guy named Maurice comes up and says he'll be her bodyguard, but Trish doesn't like that one bit. She's not a fan of her dad's line of work. The war escalates as a black barbershop explodes, and Han gets to America and buys some supplies at a hardware store. Han hotwires a cab just in time for Trish, who's ducking away from Maurice, to mistake him for a taxi driver and climb into the back seat. And apparently the producers know something about Hong Kong, because Han immediately gets into trouble by trying to drive in the left lane. The two chat for a bit. Trish realizes pretty quickly that Han stole the cab, but she's cool with that, seeing as she grew up surrounded by gangsters. They seem to like each other, but once Trish gets out, that's the end of that. Or so they think. Trish goes to the boutique she owns and finds her brother Colin in the back. Colin is in the family business, which Trish doesn't like, but ultimately he's still family. Meanwhile, Han uses his hardware tools to break into an apartment that turns out to belong to Po, his brother. Han looks around for a while and reminisces about the past, and he then hits redial on Po's phone, which connects him to Trish's boutique. Mac meets Trish at a restaurant to explain what he's doing and to come on to her, but Trish isn't interested in either topic. Later, as Mac and Colin talk to Isaac about his business deals and Po's death, Han takes a taxi to the boutique and is surprised to see Trish leaving it. On a hunch, he tells his taxi driver to follow her, and so when she goes home, he walks in right after her. She's ready to call the cops, of course, but then Han explains that his brother is dead, and her boutique was the last number he ever called. Trish suspects that her brother's involved, since he sometimes makes calls from her office. But then Maurice shows up, so Han gets away by pretending to be a Chinese delivery guy. But Maurice is not as stupid as he looks, and when he doesn't smell any takeout, he goes after Han. We get a pretty neat fight scene in the cramped staircase and the alley behind the apartment. Han shows up to Po's funeral, but he doesn't speak to his father until after paying his respects. Turns out their relationship is complicated. Han was a police officer, and he went to prison because he helped his father and brother escape justice. The two then fled to America, but they left Han behind. Han goes up to Kai to get some more information, and the two have a practice duel, mostly for the excuse to show some more martial arts. Speaking of which, the next scene puts Han in a pickup football game for yet another gimmicky fight scene. That evening, Colin is getting high with his girlfriend and complaining about getting no respect from his old man. And then someone knocks on the door and throws both of them out the window. They fall into water, but unusually for a movie, they're completely dead. Later on, Han heads back to his brother's apartment and finds out that the place has been turned upside down. Han discovers a set of car keys the intruder somehow missed, and when he looks in Po's car, he finds his brother's gaudy cane. And when he looks inside the cane, he discovers a small coke stash and a list of addresses. When Han gets back to the apartment, Trish is there. She shares a very emotional story about her brother, and then she tells Han she's with him. They've both lost brothers now, and they both want to get to the bottom of this. They head to one of the addresses on Po's list and discover an old scrapyard, full of dead Chinese people. As the two look around, the killers make their getaway, but a pair of bike riders spot them and turn around. So we get a car chase after that, and it ends when one biker falls off their motorbike, and Han rounds the other one and comes to a stop under an overpass. The biker takes her helmet off. Turns out she's a Chinese woman. Han doesn't like to hit women, so we have another gimmick fight where Han uses Trish and some dance moves to attack the biker. Oh, but please, don't think I'm saying that yet another gimmick fight is some sort of bad thing. Gimmicks are good for keeping hand-to-hand combat fresh and interesting for 110 minutes. On the other hand, the X-ray shots are pretty out of place. Han goes to his father to describe what he saw, but Chu still suggests that Isaac is responsible. He also warns Han about getting too close to Isaac's daughter. Then we see Mac outright threaten a black crab fisherman to sell his part of the dock, because something I haven't mentioned yet is that Isaac and Chu are trying to sell the docks to an investment group that wants to build a football stadium just off the waterfront. Meanwhile, Chu sends Kai to destroy Chinese businesses and kill his Triad allies to close his end of the deal. Isaac brings Trish back to his mansion so he can keep her safe, and the two have a bonding moment in their childhood room. As Isaac heads out to finalize the deal, Han sneaks in through the window. But Isaac isn't finished saying goodbye yet, and so Han has to hide behind the door. Once he finally leaves, the two sneak out. Of all the businesses on Poe's list, only a club is left standing, and Isaac was coincidentally on his way there tonight. It's also worth noting that neither of the protagonists know about the stadium deal. The club also happens to be the place from the movie's opening. DMX spots Trish on the dance floor and brings her up to his office so he can complain about her dad, and at that point Mac shows up, demands DMX sell his place again, and then just up and shoots him because the time for negotiations is up. Speaking of which, Han gets knocked out by the butt of a shotgun and dragged to a dark warehouse where Maurice tells him that he's gonna die because he stuck his nose in too deep. But Han isn't worried, and he starts a fight with the whole gang, despite them all having guns, and him, not so much. Han showed in an earlier scene that he won't fire a gun even if he gets hold of one, so this fight is all about evasion and using everything else in the environment to take down his opponents. Mostly a fire hose and the strategic use of wire food. The deal takes place at a gentleman's club, but while Chu takes the money and leaves, Isaac asks for a different arrangement. Instead of money, he wants a share of the football team that will be using the stadium. But Mac is sick of this going legit nonsense, and he chooses now to double-cross Isaac. And I should add that this is particularly ironic, because we never hear what the investors were going to say, and Mac was complaining about crab mentality back when he was talking to the crab fisherman. But it turns out, Isaac didn't know what lengths Mac was going to get the deeds, and Mac brought Trish to the club to threaten her life in front of her father and get the $38 million. Mac then admits to killing Colin, so Isaac goes straight for his neck. Unfortunately, Mac is armed and shoots Isaac. Then more guns come out. The investors have assault rifles because they knew damn well who they were dealing with, and the main investor grabs the deeds and runs. The investor heads up to a waiting helicopter on the roof with Mac hot on his heels. Mac doesn't kill any of the fleeing men, but he does shoot the suitcase with the deeds out of the investor's hands, and the pilot isn't about to risk his life to retrieve them. But Mac can't escape with them either, because at that point Han shows up. He asks Mac why he killed his brother, but Mac says the Chinese killed Poe. Trish then shoots Mac before Mac can shoot Han, or her. They go back down to Isaac. He's wounded, but he has a good chance of pulling through, especially now that there's an ambulance on the way. So Han heads to his father's place to confront Kai, whom he now knows killed Poe. The two fight for real, a good old-fashioned one-on-one kung fu duel, with action and cinematography that were obviously inspired by The Matrix. But I will say this, they come up with a completely organic reason for the stage to light on fire, and Kai gets some wicked hits in on Han that really pump up the adrenaline. But the X-ray stuff is still obnoxious. But Kai does nothing unless it's on Chu's orders, and so Han next speaks to his father. He won't kill his own father, not even after his father ordered his own son's death. But this time, he also won't protect him from the police or the other Chinese families. So, Chu turns his gun on himself. And as Trish comforts Han and the two walk off, the movie ends. Apparently, they were originally going to kiss in this last scene, but test audiences hated it because it was completely inappropriate after what just happened, and so the filmmakers dropped it. The style. Jet Li is a practitioner of pure Wushu, a term that is a more accurate way to describe Chinese martial arts. Well, it's also part of the Cantonese-Mandarin divide. Kung Fu comes from Cantonese and refers to any sort of skill you can practice, martial arts in particular. And Wushu is a Mandarin word that literally translates to martial art. And since Jet Li is originally from Beijing, you can safely say he practices Wushu. I mentioned this last time, but Chinese martial arts aren't a single style, so much as they are a name you can give to the hundreds of styles practiced throughout a nation with well over 1 billion people. You've got regional styles, personal styles, styles based on the movement of animals, from tigers and dragons to praying mantises and cranes. You've got your 5 element styles and your chess boxing styles and even the odd chef style. It's a giant mess, is what I'm saying. And Wushu styles range from purely practical combat martial arts to meditative Tai Chi forms and the opera martial arts practiced by Wuxuan actors that exist purely to put on a good show. But Jet Li doesn't practice just any kind of Wushu. He practices competition Wushu. The Communists created a national organization to regulate Wushu after they took power in 1949, and they weren't the first government to make that effort. Still, they did create a way for different styles to compete on even ground, and Wushu as a sport has 2 categories, Taolu and Sanda. Taolu is the form competition, and it really shows you how the Chinese practice their martial arts. The idea of a form is to flow through one movement to the next, and the next, and the next, stringing together dozens of punches, kicks, sweeps, blocks, jumps, everything else, doing your best both to perform each move perfectly and to remember them in exactly the right order. It's because of forms that Wushu and Kung Fu tend to strongly favor strikes and boxing over grapples and holds. To practice grapples and holds, you need a partner, but a form of pure striking moves you can perform on your own. The other part of the sport is Sanda, or the actual sparring matches. Sanda matches allow strikes from any part of the limbs, at least at the professional level, and because Wushu is nothing if not diverse, it also allows throws, and even more grappling than Muay Thai. But you do have to break a clinch after a few seconds if nobody gets thrown. And because Sanda Wushu has so few rules, its competitors can and have done decently well in Muay Thai, Shuto, and even mixed martial arts matches. Also, just so you know, Jet Li was winning Sanda Wushu competitions while he was in his teens. As I mentioned earlier, Jet Li practices Shaolin Wushu. Shaolin is a specific Buddhist monastery located in the Hainan province, due west and a little north of Shanghai. The temple is over 1,500 years old, although the buildings are newer since they tend to burn down every few centuries. It's hard to say when the monks started with their fighting, but by the late Ming Dynasty, the monks were famous for their bare-handed and staff martial arts skills. And while they weren't the only source of martial arts in China, their forms and teaching techniques had a strong influence nationwide. Strong enough to reach a kid in Beijing, if nothing else. Thanks for joining me again for today's film review. I hope I'll see you next time for another Jackie Chan movie. This one building on his drunken legacy.